How many people, when you meet them and you say, how are you, say, fantastic? You'd go, what are they on? What are they on? Don't you think that's sad that we've come to a time on planet Earth when the only people jumping out of their skin are the people on something? And when the people that are on something, when that eases off or wears off, where are they now? I believe that God meant us human beings to feel good every day, every moment. Is that right? Absolute. Life should be very good. And if it's not very good, we've got to put our detective hat on and find out, why isn't life very good? Is it because we are lacking oxygen? Now I want to show you two types of air that greatly influence the uptake of oxygen in our body. One type of air is alive with negative ions. Negative ions are electrically charged oxygen molecules. Where do you find them? Well, let me show you how they're made. Water droplets pass through the air, casting off negative ions. I memorised that. I like to get it straight from the horse's mouth. So let's have a look. Three things have to be present. Water droplets pass through the air. Pass, there's movement, casting off negative ions. So we've got to have movement, moisture and air. Whenever you've got movement, moisture and air, you've got the production of negative ions. If you've got a lot of moisture but not a lot of movement or air, what have you got growing there now? Mould, that's right. So moisture, movement and air. Where do we find moisture, movement and air? The thunderstorm. And I think we can all identify with the smell of the air when the thunderstorm hits. It's lovely, isn't it? I sometimes get that smell when I'm watering my garden. Because when I'm watering my garden, what have I got? Moisture, movement and air. Also the ocean waves. The ocean waves pounding against the rocks is creating those negative ions. Also the waterfalls. All forests are higher in negative ions than when there's no forest. Because remember what those leaves are doing, they're giving off oxygen. But there is a type of tree that gives off more, and that's the pine. Because the pine needles are so numerous. So with pine needles, you get a huge surface area, giving off moisture, giving off oxygen, and you only have to get the slightest breath of wind and you get those needles moving. Just not far from the front of my house, I have some big pine trees, and I love the sound of the wind in the pine trees. Almost sounds like rushing water. And when my little grandchildren are with me, I say, listen, listen to the wind in the pine trees. On the other hand, we've got positive ions. We're referring to the negative charge and the positive charge here. Remember that positive ions are positively bad for you, because positive ions have more carbon dioxide in their molecule than oxygen. Where do you find them? Before the thunderstorm. Don't we often comment, I think a storm's coming, the air's heavy with positive ions? The city. So we've got a few things happening in the city that's contributing to the positive ions. One is we've got a lot of people. There's not a lot of forest in the city, is there? We've got a lot of people and they're all giving out carbon dioxide, but some of those people are breathing out carbon monoxide because they are smoking. Carbon monoxide is found in, is given off from cigarette smoke. So the person smoking it and also the passive smokers are getting that carbon monoxide. You'll also find cars giving off carbon monoxide. And because of the high buildings and not a lot of sun getting right down in there, you've also got mould growth, especially where there's rubbish build-up in those back streets.